Hey YouTube, Vermont dog trainer Ian Grant here. Do you have a dog that is nervous or a little shy meeting other dogs? Well, this is the video for you. I had a wonderful lady drive from over 2 hours away to bring her very nervous, unsure German Shepherd for a lesson just on how to socialize it with other dogs. So this is the video for you if you're a little nervous about socializing your dog. Be sure to subscribe, hit the button below, enjoy. You're gonna love this one. All right, so I want you to look at your girl here. And I'm only gonna stay about this distance away, okay? So I don't want to decrease this distance until I see something more that she's a little bit more relaxed.
Right, she's really panting all of a sudden.
Yeah, and the growl is just the unsure,
yeah.
What is that thing kind of going on, right? So look, I think of this in terms of threshold. Okay. Even if this line in the cement was threshold, I don't want to cross this to put her into a position to make her react negatively, right? Because then we create an association. So I'm waiting for her nose to twitch and for her to get curious. So in this moment, when we're like this, and this is the biggest advice I can give anybody, I look for the nose to twitch like a rabbit, because I want her to become curious. So in that moment, if you see her nose twitch and become curious,
she's thinking about it right now.
Yep, all I want you to do is just to take one step forward and stop. Okay? Because that's a good state of mind. There. Now stop right there. Good. Take another one. Good. And remember, we're not forcing her to come here. Like, you have all that slack in the leash.
Yeah. And
I want that to be kept there. So this is what she is trying to tell us, is that, oh, now I'm curious, right? Now, you see those ears are like flying nun ears, yeah. Right? So she's very unsure. It's funny to see shepherds like that.
I know.
With their, yeah, yeah. Now, this is a little unsure. We're still kind of going behind you, and that's okay. But this is why we start out with a dog like this.
Who's totally telling
That's,
don't worry
yeah,
about me.
yeah. And he's even sideways. Can you just pan on him real quick? So this is a very non-threatening, right? And this is, like when people have play dates for dogs, that let's get our dogs to meet and have fun. And what do? Right?
Right.
And you could have happy-go-lucky Lassie and you can get away with it. And if you don't have happy-go-lucky Lassie, well then it turns into, like if I walked right over and she lunged, it can be interpreted as, wow, your dog's aggressive. Do you know what I mean? When the person that did something wrong was the handler, right? So this is what I mean by we just sit and wait.
So if she twitches, do I move?
Yeah. But look, I want you to kind of turn yourself a little bit more sideways to her and remain relaxed. Because we also don't want to be staring at her. Right? Because this is, look, if somebody was doing that to me, that's a little awkward. Why are you staring at me like that, right? So I'm going to take him and just kind of move him back sideways, just so she can see that he moves. Yep, yep. See, so she's a little unsure, but she's not in like this mode to evade,
right,
or escape,
right,
or flight. She took one step back, so she's still in this unsure stage, right? So look, I'm just gonna wait.
Okay.
Because I could bring in a more playful dog, it might trigger her, or it might be like too much.
It would be too much.
See, you know what I mean? So. And I don't know if you saw that. She just yawned. Do you know about the yawn? You've done a lot of your homework.
That can be a calming signal, and it can be trying to calm herself.
Yes.
And then also send some sort of message
yes.
to the rest of us.
Yep, right? Absolutely. Absolutely.
And she's kind of licking her lips. She's still, I think she's half waiting for
there.
me.
So look, even if she sniffs, if she sniffs sideways, I'm not going to move forward, but I still want to recognize that as a good state of mind.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Got another sniff.
Good. See, so stay right there. Since you're ahead of her, I don't want you to make her feel like you're pulling her into the situation. Because there's so much trust involved here, right? She's trying to trust you. She has no idea who we are or this guy. That's big, so she came up next to you.
And this is a very different situation for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, normally she'd be, if she's around other dogs, she's working or everybody's working.
Yeah.
Or doing something.
Yeah.
There's never this just, we're hanging out here next to each other.
Right. And this is a big deal. Especially now, like he's chilled out. It's all right. Just no petting or talking to her.
I think she's just thinking if could you just sneak me out the door behind her?
Another yawn. But I like the open mouth, right? Because she's not, the mouth isn't pinned shut and we're staring, like
Right.
waiting for him to move.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's good. The thing is, she just needs to be in this moment and experience it. You know what I mean? So this is what I want to do. I want to give her the quickest of breaks for a second.
Okay.
So make note of kind of where you're standing. I want you to walk back to the chair and then come right back up to this spot that you just were. Yep. Yep, and then stop right there. Because sometimes it can just be like a, oh, okay, I can move away and come back. Do you
Now,
know?
is this the social pressure kind of thing that you guys...
So there's many variations of the social pressure.
I understand that.
Absolutely. I think in her case, so she definitely has a lack of experience, obviously, outside of your world, right?
Yes.
I mean, she has some, but it's being in that environment. So for her, this has to be a slow process, because if you rush her, she will react in a way that could be negative to us, or she could just tuck her tail and run, right? Until she's cornered or whatever. So to me, I think there is an aspect of a social pressure here, but it's not, a lot of times we see it with dogs of like, oh, I just want to be with somebody, right? I just want to be near you. I just want to be close to you. You're another dog. You look like you're pretty cool to hang out with. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like this is a little bit more of the lack of experience.
Okay.
Plus, you guys, you know, when's the last time she just rode in a car for 2.5 hours?
Right. She doesn't usually ride that long.
Right? So you're 2.5 hours in a car, you're in a setting that is all new and different, right? Which is rule number 9.
Yep.
So
New and different until it's not. It's all new and different again.
absolutely, absolutely. So that's you know, all a part of what we're dealing with. There we go.
Good
See?
sniff.
Yep. So I'm going to move him away and kind of come back. So what I want you to do, Paul, come right back here for me, is I want you to walk up to where we were standing. Because I want her to see if she'll sniff the area that he was in. So if her nose gets triggered, she may become curious of where he was lying down and then smell his scent that way. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. See?
Yep.
Because that gives her another chance to learn about him without being in his proximity.
Do I let her just keep...
Yeah, if she keeps coming, absolutely. Especially if she's in a, keep coming. Move over there for me, Paul. Good. So see the difference?
Yeah.
So she got a stronger scent of him. And then she's like, oh, well, this is what he's all about?
Nothing's eaten me yet.
Right, right. And now, see now how much more curious she's become? Just follow her around if she's this way. Because if you put pressure on the leash while she's trying to strain to sniff and be curious, that
Right.
good state of mind,
Yeah.
yeah. See, and so those were softer eyes she just checked in with you with, right? And now we're getting way closer. Yeah. Yep. Good. So I'm going to move out here because I don't want him to feel like he's cornered. You just stay right there. We're just going to take a couple of steps. And why don't you kind of walk behind me here? And I'm going to stop him here, especially because the butt's pointing in the right direction, right? He's boarded with me for years, so.
Yeah, I just saw a video.
Yeah, he's the one that was correcting the black lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, the energetic black lab. Yep. The cool part is she's near the door that you guys came in.
She looked at it.
Yeah, look. See, now that was very respectful, right? She curled herself around to get back here. She didn't just go in that straight line. So this is her being done the first time. So we're going to let her return if she decides to.
It's all very soft, gentle.
Yes.
Slow. Slow and not, you know, so many people talk about you gotta get out and walk on them. Even that can be fast.
It can be.
Moving.
I mean, and I
It's
still.
okay to move next to each other, but
Yes.
sometimes there's like this drive behind it or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. And I still firmly believe the best way for dogs to meet is just to go walking together. But it has to be somewhat of a structured walk.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it can't be so out of control. Now, you see how much more curious she's gotten?
Yep.
Yeah. So the biggest issue in the room to her, which was this dog, is now not that big of a deal because she sniffed it. So look at what that does for everything else in the room.
Yep.
Right? So that's why when you can have one stable dog, right, like this guy, and even her, and she's got a lot of experience with 2 other dogs at home.
Right.
Like there are social skills there,
Right.
right? But for her to still be this unsure and still move forward and then go, oh, right, I can do this. And you can still be slow with a dog that has experience at home with others. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she needs it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this would have just blown up.
Right. Absolutely. Now, see, those ears are way different now than the flying nun ears we had earlier, right? So, Paul, swing around over here by the blue door for me. So, what is your takeaway from this moment with this guy?
I need a dog like that. We can do this. I know of several dogs, or at least, even if they're not like that, we could still do this slower, easy approach.
Yeah.
More and more.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of other dogs there's few and far between
Yeah.
that are as good as he is.
Yep.
But I'm really happy that she was just okay.
Yeah. Yep. So take another step towards me. There you go. Good. Oh. I don't know if you saw that. Her tail just kind of a little bit. Yeah. Take another step. And see, we can go faster this time because we've done it once already. Okay? But if she shows zero interest, I'm not going to push her. Like she just kind of turns sideways away a little bit.
Try not to stare at her.
Yeah. But I also want you to learn too.
Yeah, she keeps checking with me.
Yep. Here we go. She's like, I don't know. And look, a lot of times people will make the mistake of they take their dog and then they pull it right up to another dog's butt instead of letting it happen organically. If you let it happen organically, you will learn more from it than if you just pull her up behind this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. See, she took her wide berth here, right? Just a little unsure. And that's okay. And I want to respect that, right? It's just like I don't want to take him and move him right up to her if she's not ready. You want to I'll get a different dog?
Sure.
Sound good?
Whatever you...
Yeah, because I want you to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought she was going to come back up. So her stare, right?
That's a little rude, isn't it?
Well, you know, and he's kind of looking too. It's not awful, but hers is very unsure. Plus, her mouth is open, which is good, and her ears are softer. If her ears were up, mouth closed, stare, might be a little different. And that's why he's not like, yeah.
He's like, okay.
Yeah. All right, good for this one. So this is Zeke. So you can see he's a little more active. Yep. So go ahead and stand up next to him. Her, I mean. Good. So let's maybe take 1 or 2 steps forward just to kind of get, there we go, and then stop. If she wants to keep coming, come with her. See, perfect moment to stop. You see how she became unsure?
Right.
And you didn't keep dragging her into a situation she was uncomfortable with, which is good.
She's going to sleep well after all of this.
No, yeah. Yeah, to her it might be a quick trip home. See, she's a studier. She wants to study. And I think if you haven't, any of the stuff that we talked about beforehand and the situations, but if we disrespected that, you would put her in a bad situation.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I like her vibe, because she's like, I just want to hang out and survey the situation first. I'll get in there when I'm ready.
Well, we've tried pretty hard. I mean, when we do take her places, say Tractor Supply or whatever, I don't push her to let people touch her
Beautiful.
or anything.
Good.
I don't, it's like, no, they're just people.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about them.
Yes.
If she goes to them, because sometimes we'll stop and be talking,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll give a sniff, and so I would sometimes hand them a treat and just give it out of the side of their hand.
Yeah.
No, but not like, I don't force her into any of that.
Yes.
I just
And that's
ask
good.
people to leave her alone.
It's great. Really?
And when people come over, it's basically the same thing. Just ignore Lane, let her come to you.
Yeah.
Don't pay no attention to her.
Yep.
And she checks everything out and then generally makes friends.
Yep. And this is what, like, it's all I can say. Like, she's a studier. There we go. Good. So stop right there. Don't do anything. She crossed her own threshold there, right?
Enjoy it.
No. And then she goes around, and that's okay. She crossed her own threshold, and that's what we want her to learn, right?
That nothing bad happened.
Right. And she was with a dog that didn't react either, right? So this is what I mean. So I call this term marinating, because I want her to be in this moment and soak it all in and realize, oh, you mean that dog doesn't want to eat me? Right? Zeke, you're so funny today. He's one of my daycare regulars that's been here for, it's got to be 5 years, once a week.
Nice.
So he just got a little brother at home.
Aww.
Yeah. Yep. See the recovery? Like, that's beautiful. She recovered from her own little thing. Now see, he's a little unsure, right? So I've got, yeah, you're fine. He's experienced enough to know. And I want her to, and I don't suggest holding dogs like this, but I know this guy and yeah. So if dogs end up moving around like this, we call it doing the dance. So you never want to have me get in between Ling and you.
Okay.
Okay, so you always want to keep her between you and the other dog, or you and the X factor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
See, this is different than before because we're moving around, right?
Right.
Chopin, the other guy, was just like, right. I'm just going to hang out here. So,
this is great.
To Zeke, he's a little like, okay, this one's different than what I'm normally used to. See?
Right.
Yeah.
So he's thinking she's a little...
Well, he gets a different... Well, she barked at him, right? So he's like, this is a little different. Yeah. So it's the same thing. I've got to respect him just as much as you're respecting her, right?
So now he's sniffing where she was walking.
Do you see the patterns in this, right?
He's like, okay, let me go see what she's
Yeah.
about over here.
Yeah. Yep. And obviously, once you start to see patterns, then you're like, what's rule number 10?
Be ahead of the behavior.
Right, always be ahead.
Yep.
So if you're aware of patterns, then you're already aware of what it could look like based on previous patterns.
Then you have to plan your something.
Actions.
And then
yeah.
your plan.
Yeah. Yep. You see how it all intertwines?
It does.
Yeah. Yep.
This is great. This is really, I'm really happy with her.
Yeah. That's why I think if she slowly was worked into a group, I think she'd be good.
She'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to leave her like this. I'm going to get a different one.
Okay.
And cut it.
This is your puppy.
Yeah. A little more. No, she doesn't. All right, all right, all right. So the good part is that she's not even reacting to this, right? She may think she's nuts, but she's not reacting to it. So look.
Looking at him like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. So look, with her, if she gets excited, I can move her a little bit. Right? You see what I mean? Yeah. Because right now, Gemma's not interested in sniffing. She's just interested in using her eyes and looking and staring. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I want to get her. This is why I bring her into these things, because they're good teachable moments for her too.
Another big yawn.
Yeah. I want to get Gemma into being curious. See how the moving around quiets her down? She's got to use her sniffer and not stare. Because compared to the previous two, Zeke's, I think, like 7 or 8 years old. The first guy is like 10 or 11. So there's a lot of experience that just came through. And now you have little experience. But now you can see how a dog like Gemma, if they came across each other off leash, so there you go, move forward. Gemma could overpower her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, this one would run,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So this is where instead of the correcting and yanking on Gemma to quiet her down, just the moving her around and kind of keeping her brain until she can settle, right? See, it's the look that is for Gemma. You know, the ears and the, yeah. But it's good for her though. Because now we're teaching two dogs at the same time. See how that almost went across her threshold? She took that step. Yep. Yep. Because she's like, you just got a little too close for me.
Her lips tight.
Yep. Hey. Look at you. It's so funny.
But she's trusting you to keep going.
Well, what have we done with the previous two dogs? We've showed her there's a pattern. Yeah. And she just wants to play and meet and right? But we got to teach her. But look, all this noise, and look who's coming closer and closer and closer.
Putting the pressure on her, which is surprising.
Yeah.
But she's older.
See. See, she's still curious. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, move back a little bit. Yeah.
That's what I was putting.
It's not, I mean, it's stuff that she can handle. But there we go. See, she's almost stalking.
Yeah.
If anything, she may want to just try to correct Gemma. Be like, you're too much.
Yeah.
You need to settle down. You're all right. She's trying to chill her out. See the change?
And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Drop the leash. She's not going to do anything. If she was going to, it would have been then. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We'll let her make her decisions here. Yep. So, it's good to see the skills out of her, because she was like, you need to settle your butt down. Like, this is too much for, right? Now look, look. See? She's like, wait a minute, this dog just did this to me, right? Pretty cool how the role reversed there, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Because see, look at her tail.
She's very much.
And this is more of a protest. Yeah. It's just noise.
Yeah.
It's just noise.
Who would have thought you'd be the calm?
See now, look, I'm over here. She's not like, I don't want to go over there. Right? So things are starting to get defined. Boundaries are starting to get created. Have you seen when I talk about the rules of play and how when dogs, it's all about boundaries first? Your girl just created a boundary.
That's what she said.
That was the first little line in the sand that was drawn that said, you need to chill out when we're together.
And she's
See?
backing away. Yeah.
I haven't done anything to firmly like disagree with Gemma at all.
Right.
Right? Nothing. This is all dog language.
Wow.
And now look who's chilled out. It's a pretty cool moment.
Amazing. It really is.
Yeah. So in this moment, especially because like when she was moving forward, See the change? She backed up, so what did she do? She came forward, right? So you have this give and take kind of thing. But what I was going to say is, obviously her mouth is open and panting. When she gets into that moment where she's looking at Gemma and then the mouth closes, it goes from
to watch it.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. So I'm going to move around. You're good with her off.
Okay.
Yep.
This is great.
Yeah. And like you said, extensive knowledge of obedience, right? Which is great. You can always tell her what to do. But in this moment, to me, that gets thrown out the door,
I want
right?
her to know what to do.
And it's her in her core, right?
Being a dog.
In her soul, it's who she is. And then you get the chance to have this, right?
May I sniff?
Yeah.
Will she give?
Another boundary created. You can't get near me like that.
Let that one have a sniff, but that wasn't
No?
going to happen. Is that too much?
No.
See, that's where I get antsy.
Look, and I wouldn't want you to let it go at home,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because rule number 2, if you're not sure, make sure.
Yeah.
Then it would be, what would you do? You'd have her back on leash and you'd be doing this slowly.
Just start again.
But because I've seen her not, like, see, these are just big displays. And that's a protest. Right?
Cut it out, lady.
Yes, yes.
This is my house.
Yes.
Quit being such a bitch.
It's the teacher saying to the student, get in your chair, and the student going, do I have to? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live here after all.
Right?
You're just a guest. And you're walking like I'm the queen.
Yeah. See how her mouth is closed, and then it goes to open? So it can go from being a little concerned to more relaxed. So a lot of times that might be able to give you the threshold. When she goes, and it stops, that's the moment where she's starting to become maybe a little concerned, or she's focusing, or her observing.
And depending on the other dog, you could either wait a minute, take a few deep breaths, or if
Yeah.
the other dog is starting to wind up too, back up a little.
Yeah. Look, now she's moving away from you, right? Yeah. See the mouth close for a second? And then it, see, and then lips, but she's going to come in and sniff. Now, see how Gemma curls herself and kind of hunches herself up?
Yep.
That's her way of telling Ling, I am no threat.
I'm not gonna, yeah.
I am not trying to make myself look huge. You can sniff me. I will be more submissive to you. And look, not that she's a dominant dog,
Yeah, no.
because she isn't,
No.
right? In this moment, in this element, for these two, she is just creating rules and boundaries. That's it. Doesn't mean to her core she's a dominant dog, because she's not.
No.
She doesn't carry herself that way.
No.
But because also that she lives at home, she has those skills of like knowing when too much is too much, you need to settle down, back away. Do you know what I mean? See, and then she can move closer again.
You can't go around telling people how they all want. You might get away with that. They don't want that. So why would she feel the urge to tell Gemma then? Like,
What's rule number 2?
Gemma wasn't doing anything
But-
at that moment that we can see.
Right. But what's rule number 2?
I forgot.
If you're not sure, make sure.
Okay, so she's just
She might be making sure.
saying, hey, I've told you once.
But there's also there's a negative aspect of that too,
Okay.
right? Where if Gemma was clearly like, if she approached and she's growling and Gemma was clearly like, okay, I'm done,
Right.
and she still kept at it, okay, then I might step in and be like, you got your
chill
point
out.
across.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I understand.
That's enough.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like she hasn't made.
I'll just lie down now and maybe she'll leave me alone.
She hasn't made contact with her at all.
No.
Right? So then you can get this. Now you look at from when Gemma first walked in
Right.
to now, right? So she's 2, you said. She's 1, there's a little more experience, still dogs at home. You know what I mean? So if she does it when she's lying down, then I might step in.
Because that doesn't seem fair.
No. Because she's not.
Back to her other end of the room and
Yeah.
go, okay.
Yep. And that's the thing, and Lena just said this. There is a positive and negative to all those rules, right? See, then we can freely move around. See the tail starting to work its way up too?
She's looking at me like, what are we doing?
Uh-huh. See, so that was there was a little bit of a lift of her lip. There. So what's your take from this one? There's a ton that went down here.
It's hard for me to let some of that go.
No doubt. And like I said, I wouldn't ask for you to.
Because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't
Right.
want to be wrong.
Right.
And so that is hard for me, but I can clearly see, which I wouldn't have before, how she set the rules.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have seen that as that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would have thought maybe she was just so worried she felt she had to react first or something.
Right.
Which isn't that.
Right.
So this is pretty amazing. I would not have thought that she would even take charge.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that she would ever see herself as being able to do that.
Uh-huh. The other part of this too is a lot of times when people get in this situation, like her first rah, rah, rah,
Yeah.
right? Many times people will go, oh, I got to get her out of here.
And then,
When in actuality, she just was pretty much right next to you the whole time. Rah, rah, rah. And then you hang out because it's like, you've got kids, right? You said? Yeah. Right. When they first get hurt, when they're like 2 or 3 years old, you don't run over screaming like the kid just lopped a leg off, right? You walk over and you're like, okay, it's all right. We don't panic with them. So if you're in that moment and that rah, rah, rah happens and your dog's not moving forward and you still hang out there, they're like, you're not worried about this?
so I guess
Okay.
this is a big deal. Yeah.
So maybe I should sniff and maybe I'll become curious. And then you can get into these moments. Do you see what I mean?
Now we're just hanging.
Yeah. Like to me, just hear the nice deep breath.
Yep,
Yeah.
I always thought she was going to lie down for a second.
Yeah.
I kind of gave that.
But and look how soft her eyes are now too. Can you move over to the, oh, no, don't get closer. Come over here. Just hang out right there for a little bit. There, you see how soft they are? Right? You're not getting that stare.
No, she's just, and that's pretty much her relaxed ear position.
Yeah.
She always has a little bit of a Yoda look, not the
Yeah.
straight shepherd look that
Yep. Absolutely.
you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she did great.
This has been great.
Good.
Really.
Good.
really
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You can cut it, Paul.